What's up, everyone? Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl that Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, just a couple quick things. Number one, check out my website, btcsessions.ca. This is where you can reach out to me personally and book your own BTC session. We can chat Bitcoin, wallets, proper security, whatever you like. All you need to do is scroll to the very bottom and there's a contact form for you there. Secondly, big shout out to the sponsors of the show, Ledn.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin as collateral to secure a Canadian dollar or US dollar loan in select international markets. So really simple. All you do is you head to the website. There's a slider so you can check out how much Bitcoin would be required for a specific dollar amount. The sign up and form takes about 2 minutes to fill out. And if you're successful, you're usually funded with your bank account within 24 hours. So be sure to check them out. They've also got a deal on right now where if you are successful and you click the link that I've provided down below, you will be credited with an additional $50 worth of Bitcoin. So check them out. Anyways, without further ado, on to the news. And it would seem that Bitcoin has been crowned the best investment of 2019 by the mainstream press. So this is based on a chart put out by the Wall Street Journal, which has been, this article paints them as very negative on Bitcoin. I wouldn't go that far. I would say that they've been lukewarm. There's been some positive stuff, I'd say, earlier on from Paul Vigna and Michael Casey, who are authors of The Age of Cryptocurrency and The Truth Machine, and another one that I haven't read The Truth Machine yet. But anyways, they were big Bitcoin advocates early on. More often, they've been a bit more critical of it as of late. But regardless, this article here, it was looking at the rise in stocks and bonds and commodities and blah, blah, blah. And it showed the year-to-date change for all of these things. And Bitcoin is way on top at 50-something, getting close to 60% gains for the year. So very positive. And it's just interesting because of how negative they've been on Bitcoin recently, like in the past couple of years, it was interesting to see them kind of pushing this front and center. But anyways, from positive news to people dumping on Bitcoin, Warren Buffett and his buddy Charlie Munger can't seem to shut up. Now, these guys are very, very traditional investors. They like blue chip companies that produce a good or a product. And because of that, because of how traditional they are, they don't really look at or really understand most tech companies, let alone a groundbreaking technology like Bitcoin and what it could mean for the world. So they're looking at it from the standpoint of what is the company and what is the product, but Bitcoin is neither of those things. And to further speak to the fact that they're not familiar with tech, well, they completely missed out on opportunities like Google and Amazon because they thought that they were both fads, and they were incredibly wrong there. Buffett himself has admitted that he really missed the boat on those couple of companies. Meanwhile, they started dumping into Amazon just recently. Well, what did Charlie Munger have to say here? So he was at a conference, and he said, "I've been invited to this gathering to go to a happy hour put on by the Bitcoin people, and I tried to figure out what Bitcoin people do in their happy hour, and I finally figured it out. They celebrate the life and work of Judas Iscariot." And if you watch the video, there's a link within the link that I'm going to be sending here. But there's kind of some tepid laughter throughout the crowd, but not really too much of a reaction other than from Buffett, and just kind of, I feel like people were giving a sympathy laugh there. Anyways, Judas Iscariot, as in Judas who turned in Jesus, so a religious reference, I guess, in that Judas was a traitor, and they see Bitcoin as being a traitor to the legacy financial system. And I don't know if he meant that to be I don't I don't know that that's much of an insult, because really Bitcoin is meant to uproot our current financial system, is meant to be that Trojan horse that inserts itself and replaces what's there, because what's there is no longer working as it should. So I don't know, kind of a weak dig. Anyways, this article goes into some of the previous comments from Buffett and Munger when they crapped on Bitcoin before, but I'm not going to dive into that now. Moving on. So the other day we talked about Bitfinex and the price, and how there was a premium on Bitfinex over most other cryptocurrency exchanges for Bitcoin. And why was that? Well, it's because of issues getting dollars out of the exchange. And so people, in order to get their money off of the exchange, they're not wanting to put it into Tether because they're worried it's not backed. And so what do they do next? Well, they put it into Bitcoin. And so there's a premium on buying Bitcoin on Bitfinex in particular, because more people are buying Bitcoin to take their Bitcoin off the exchange, since that option is not easily available with US dollars or with Tether. Or rather, people are worried about having any money in Tether at the moment. Well, when it comes to coinmarketcap.com, they do an aggregate of a lot of different prices from a lot of different exchanges. They've now exempted the market rate of Bitfinex or rather excluded it from their aggregate price because it is so much higher and is not representative of the general market. So the quote here: some prices are manually excluded from the average, denoted as an asterisk on the market tab, if the price does not seem indicative of a free market price, meaning that there's some reason that the price from a particular exchange is skewed, as it is with Bitfinex. Anyways, let's move on here. I found this one funny. This is from The Block, and it looks like a single Bitcoin Cash address is responsible for nearly 50% of network's transactions in the past month. So it says here that this address first started to make some transactions on April 8th of 2019, and at the time of this article, when it was written, had made over 575,000 transactions. Over this same period, Bitcoin Cash, the blockchain, had about 1.17 million transactions. So this single address had accounted for roughly 49% of Bitcoin Cash's total transactions. Not only that, but these 575,000 transactions, well, it wasn't even that much money that was moved. So the address right now has a balance of $1,266. The transactions were often for the exact same amount of 0.0000731 Bitcoin Cash, and it's only sent and received a total of $19,298 and $20,461 respectively. So really, it seems like there's just tiny amounts of Bitcoin Cash going in and out of this address to kind of skew the network statistics to look like more is happening than there actually is. So for a single address to take almost half of the entire network usage is kind of hilarious. So I don't know, is this decentralization? Anyways, let's move on. And one other little note here: the Bitcoin network has surpassed 100,000 nodes. So there is a skewed metric where people wrongly assume that there are only around 10,000 nodes in the Bitcoin network. However, there's a difference between Bitcoin nodes and listening nodes. And so full nodes are significantly higher than listening nodes. So you can see the metric here, this pie chart. There's about 9,521 Bitcoin Core nodes out there. So this breaks it down further by implementation of Bitcoin Core. So you can see that Bitcoin Core, about half of the network is running an older implementation, 0.16. There's a bit more than a quarter of the network running, around 31% of the network is running version 0.17. And you can see the new version, 0.18, is just slowly being adopted now. So there's holders about just shy of 4% of the network. And then you can see some of the other implementations there. So what was that 10,000 number? Well, the 10,000 number is actually listening supernodes. So what's the difference between a full node and a supernode? Well, a supernode, while also verifying transactions and getting all the information from the Bitcoin blockchain, it is also relaying that information out to other peers. So it has the secondary job of taking that information and relaying out and trying to make the network more efficient by getting that information quickly across multiple peers, whereas a listening node, whereas a regular full node is primarily used for an individual to verify their own transactions and make sure that they are playing by the rules that they want to play by. Basically saying, is this the version of Bitcoin I want to be running? Did anybody switch it on me? No, because I'm running it myself. So very big, not too big of a difference, but it can skew the numbers quite a bit when you just pay attention to the supernodes versus a regular node like I have running there, the Casa node. So interesting, really cool to see 100,000 nodes on the network. I think that's huge, and it very much contributes to decentralization in the sense that if somebody tried to make a change to the protocol that the majority of those 100,000 nodes did not agree to, well, they're going to ignore them. And so you've got this economic majority, the people that are actually using the money, that are saying, no, we're not going to listen to that change. We're sticking with what we've got. So it just makes Bitcoin more resistant to unwanted changes that fall outside of consensus. And with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it here. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, please do check out the website. Check out the link for Ledn.io down below if you want to look into a Bitcoin-backed loan. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that little bell notification icon, because every time this airs for the first time, I'm in a side chat with everybody, chatting everyone up. And if you really liked what you saw here, you can drop me a Bitcoin Lightning Network tip via my tippin.me page here. And if you don't know how, well, I made a tutorial and I'll be sure to link that. Anyways, thanks very much to you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily session.